Hey guys, this is TheEnder. This is the StarCraft Brood War Sonic Espanu All-Stars tournament. Game 1 is going to be Group B. Game 1, it's Killer versus Mong. Killer is a pretty darn good Zerg player. Mong, he's a decent Terran player. He's no Flash, but, you know, he tries. So, let's see how it goes. I haven't seen this game yet, and it is a few weeks old. I don't know if you've seen it already, but I haven't, so I'm going to start with this one, and I'll go through as much of the tournament as I can, and hopefully I'll get it posted prior to being too long after the tournament, so if you're waiting to see the finals live, my videos won't be up until much later. But alright, so here we go. Terran spawning up in the 10 o'clock position, Zerg in the 1 o'clock position. No fast pool from the Zerg. Looks like I've got 9 drones. So whatever it is, it's not a crazy rush. So in case you're wondering what this is, Sonic All-Star Tournament. So Sonic, the way I've heard the story told, Sonic pretty much single-handedly decided to save Brood War, which is great. And so he started his own tournaments. They've been gaining popularity, and a lot of the former Korean professionals who didn't switch over to StarCraft 2 started playing in his tournaments, and some of them, especially Killer, have been doing really, really good. So this is the All-Stars tournament. So of course you can expect the very best. It's the round of 16, 4 groups, 4 players per group, to advance to the round of 8 from each group. So, let's see. Alright, barracks on the low ground, not too crazy. Looks like we have a pool from the Zerg, and Drone Scout. Dual Scout from the Terran. Actually, the Zerg Scout is cross-map, which is odd. Looks like he's going to run into the scouting probe from the Terran when he gets to the 7 o'clock position. Alright, hatchery goes down.
자, 그리고 죄송한데 그 루비에서 불렀는데 그 말대가리라고 하지 마세요, 진짜. 아니 그 이렇게 데리고 말대가리 자꾸 하지 말라고요, 여러분들. 말대가리 하지 마세요.
Marines pushing out, but I'm not sure what they're intending to do. Maybe just catch an overlord. Because Zerglings are out. And if they want to, they can push the Terran all the way back to his ramp. But it looks like he's just more interested in denying the scout right now. Drone Scout comes back. So, usually, Zerg vs Terran goes more or less 2 different ways. Zerg goes for Mutalisk off of 2 or 3 hatcheries, or he goes for Lurkers. Lurkers are not as common. A lot of times it relies on the Terran not being able to scout him. Because once they scout him and they throw up the bunkers, the Zerg is, sort of out of options. But this is interesting. A few extra lings from the Zerg. Killer. He might be trying to do some kind of a run by and catch Mong off guard. Ooh, what is this? Okay, so the Marines are coming out to save the SCV. And this is bad. Very bad for Mong, since there's extra lings coming across the map. If Mong doesn't get back in time, and he doesn't have a bunker, so this could be really bad. Now, there's no speed for the lings, so they're not going to outright kill him, I doubt. They could be annoying and possibly cancel that expansion. Of course, because it's still building, you can't repair it, which can be really annoying. Ooh, but that nice wall. That barracks is making a really nice wall with the ramp. Alright, so we should probably be seeing a layer starting pretty soon. Alright, there's the layer. Great. And the Terran is taking his expansion, as expected. So, There's no evolution chamber and no den, so it is very likely to be a Spire and a 3-hatch Muta, which is a pretty good build opening for the Zerg. You get out your Mutas, you keep the Terran locked in their base, and you can take your third behind it, and keep the Terran from pushing out until you've got your lurkers in defense ready. That being said, the Mutas will be slightly late since he went for all those early lings. I don't think it's going to be a problem. And of course, we've got a lovely Spenu Shu ad at the bottom. That's Sonic's company who's providing the funds for these tournaments, which is really great. So if you like his shoes, definitely see what you can do to get them. Alright, Spire on the way. Bunker on the way for the Terran. Mong has a pretty fast engineering bay. Usually you don't want to get that out until the Spire is almost all the way done. And then you can get your turrets as late as possible to spend the money on other economic things. So that fast engineering bay means probably a fast +1 attack, which is going to help push the Mutas back. Not sure why the screen's freezing every few seconds. I don't think it's me. Alright, speed is completed for the Zerglings. They're going to be able to catch that SCV. Ah, they should have caught that SCV. Good old Brood War pathing. Not sure what Sonic's arguing about, but he apparently doesn't like Brood War pathing either. Alright, so this is the drone to take the third base for Killer. Usually what happens is the Zerg will take the high ground, what would have been a spawning location, since it's a 4-player map. And then all you need is 2 or so lurkers on the top of the ramp, and you can just stop a huge number of Marines, because they funnel through and the lurkers will 2-shot them. But alright, Mutas are on the way, 9 of them so far. Hydrogen for lurkers. And Terran is trying to push out with his first medic Marine group. Usually about a dozen Marines and 2 or 3 medics. Firebats will try to guard the ramp. Oh, but it looks like they're not going to be in time. The Mutas are going to force them back into the main. Let's see if the turrets are in time. Come on, move over. Or not. I don't have obs control, so I can't look at the Terran base. Alright, so we saw 5 racks earlier. Usually 5 racks and that +1 can make Terran pretty, not all in, but it's a very strong attack that the Zerg really has to worry about. We only saw 1 sunken morphing. Oh, losing on a Mutas, Alright, and he runs away. So economically speaking, the Zerg is doing, Killer is doing pretty good, since he only made that 1 sunken. That being said, you really don't want to engage these Marines head-on with your Mutas unless you have Lings underneath. The Mutas do really good at picking off Marines, since they take a little bit of damage since they're stacked up, and then they can just regen it, but in a head-on confrontation, well, that's a lot of sunkens. Oh yeah, he won't be able to break this. I mean, he can't. If he tries to go in and adding in the Mutas, he'll just lose all that medic Marine. Almost surprised he doesn't go and head for the third. Because of course the third doesn't have lurkers, nor does it have anywhere near that many sunkens. Alright, let's see where he's going to go. His tech is really slow because he went for the 5 racks. He's already got the +1 and the eBay is still lit up, so that means he's going for the armor. Oh, there's the lurkers. And all he has to do is sink them. Terrible casualties to the Marines if they try to run up that ramp. Alright. Hive already? Oh man, fast Hive. So, everyone loves a Hive. So, Hive is great for the Zerg. And essentially it's because of the Dark Swarms. So Defilers consume Zerglings, giving them more or less, I don't want to say unlimited energy, but they don't have to wait for it. They can just sacrifice a Zergling to get the 50 energy. And under that Dark Swarm, Marines just really cannot do anything to Zerglings. So it's really great for pushing out of contains, like the Terran can set up. And if you put Lurkers under that Dark Swarm and you put them underground, oh man, they're super hard to take out. Because they don't take damage from tanks' primary shots either, even though it's a splash attack, since they're under Dark Swarm and when they get burrow. There are some funny things you can do with tank splash, though. If you have, since Dark Swarm doesn't actually negate the attack, it just makes them miss. If you have another unit nearby, the tank attack can still kill them with the splash. But the primary damage isn't done. Alright, so we picked up a tank. That's a nice pickup. Tanks are expensive. 150, 100, compared to the few lings you lose, which are, you know, expendable. It's actually pretty high drone saturation at its natural. Usually Zergs stick to roughly 1 drone per patch, and that's just because, you know, larva is an issue. And more drones is better, but it takes so much time for them to pay off that usually the Zerg would rather just have, you know, another base lightly saturated, so that, you know, if it does lose them, you know, it's still only 1 base and, you know, 7 to 10 drones rather than 20. Alright, Defiler Mound is out. It's likely been researching Consume. Knight is now going up to connect the 3rd base to the natural. Really nice for instant reinforcements. Terran's pushing out. I'm surprised there's not a science vessel with it. That's actually quite dangerous. You could have some stop lurkers that just destroy that entire medic marine group. Plus, once Dark Swarm comes out, they're going to have to entirely retreat. Alright, there's the Defilers. They got some Scourge, but no vessels to snipe. Consume is likely to finish pretty soon. Alright, so there we go. That's why there's not it. Alright, so Dark Swarm, Lurker underneath it. That Lurker cannot be killed with that army. Must retreat. In the meantime, they're going to take a whole lot of damage on that tank. But this dropship could be really good. If they snipe the Nidus, that means no reinforcements. Oh, nope. Caught by the Mutas. So that's a really nice pick-off for Killer. More Hydras, which is going to be more Lurkers. He's got double upgrades coming in. And so now the Terran's got to start thinking about what he wants to do next. Dark Swarm, upgrades, Hive. It's problematic to deal with using Medic Marine only. You can go for the double vessels, but I haven't seen any vessels this game, so... Alright, there's the first one. So it's probably not... he's probably going to go for the standard mech transition. Mech does slightly better against Hive units. Alright, let's see what we got here. Gotta retreat the Marines, because he can't do anything to the Lurkers. Plague is probably researching right now, so pretty soon those Defilers are going to be able to really do mean things with Medic Marine. Good snipe by the Mutas, that's really annoying. I mean, you have to pull another SCV all the way across the map to start building that command center. Uh-oh, no Dark Swarm. Those 3 Lurkers are going to pick off. Oh, nice. It's starting to get scary. Because even though if you have Dark Swarm, I mean, if you don't have any units under it, you're screwed. It's not doing you any good. But Mong has a good contain on Killer. You can see Overlord speed there. It's surprising. He knows that base is there. I don't know if he's going for vision or if he actually has drops. He does have drops. Alright. That's a silly command center landing next to Zerglings. No Adrenal upgrade on the Zerglings, so they don't have their crack. But they can still do a pretty good amount of damage. And no free SCVs? Oh, come on! Where's the Defiler? Alright, so that fourth base is going to go down. Nothing he can do. But he's still got the Nidus up, so the third base isn't going to be lost. Irradiate on the Mutals. He needs to split those. Oh, come on. Split them, split them. Why aren't you watching? Oh, here we go. The Doom drop. That's why I wasn't watching. So essentially this drop could end the game, more or less. Due to the mech transition, there's not too many Marines on the field. So throw a few Dark Swarms into the main with Cracklings, which it looks like they do have the Crack upgrade right now. And oh yeah, this is going to be so annoying to clean up. You know, all those depots go down. He's going to lose some SCVs. He's going to lose that armory. Nice irradiate on the Defiler. You always want to keep those irradiated. Alright, third base is protected with a Dark Swarm Lurker. Free tank. And killer retreats. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of damage, but Mong is still on 4 bases, and Killer's only on 3, which is... It's supposed to be the other way around. You know, Zerg should be outbasing the Terran. So, despite that damage, it's still anyone's game. And you say, well, Terran's outmining the Zerg, why is it still anyone's game? The Zerg is on Hive Tech. He's got most of the tech he's going to need for the rest of the game. Oh, that's a hilarious use of Scourge, and by use I mean failure to control. It's just his rally point. Wasting Scourge to kill a barracks. But yeah, once the Zerg has Hive Tech like this, and they've got their Defilers, the only thing they really need is upgrades and Ultras, which, of course, both are kind of expensive, but at the same time, you know, getting that Hive is a huge commitment. Oh, come on, drop him, drop. Alright. That first Dark Swarm there, they're going to be able to land, although they need some more Dark Swarms if they want to move in on that base. Alright, so when Terran goes for the mech transition like this, usually they like to have a second set of factories. So it looks like at that fourth base in the bottom left position, you can't see them, but in addition to the supply depots, I'm guessing there's some factories there also. Oh, come on. Defiler's getting sniped. Now it's starting to really look bad for Killer here. I mean, if you're down on bases, that's okay if you have your Hive Tech and you can do damage back to the Terran, but other than that one drop on the main, he's just losing stuff left and right. I think we're probably going to see a GG pretty soon. The mech trend. That's a nice use of Dark Storm. Oh, there we go. GG. Alright, good game. So, Killer surrenders, Mong wins. That's game 1. But we're in the group stages, so Killer can still move on if other good things happen for him. See you next game.